the Greens have announced a whole swathe of things aimed at buying off votes, particularly in Queensland. $30 billion worth over the weekend, including $19 billion for coal mining subsidies to make sure that people who work in those industries will be able to magically transition into other things. Now, Rose, they claim that Queensland's going to be a great win for them. They think that they're going to be able to eat into your vote, that they're going to be able to stop the Labor Party getting up here, there and everywhere in Queensland, which last time I checked matters because you need to get to 76 seats to form a government.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to make policy when you're playing with monopoly money, isn't it? I mean, this is the problem with the Greens. They can just promise, $100 billion for everything and they'll never have to deliver it because they're not a party of government. They don't have the responsibility of actually leading, of making difficult decisions about priorities and about what is most important right now and what are the challenges that are front and centre for a country. They can just promise everything to everyone. It's not good policy. It's not good politics. And yeah, I mean, a lot of what they do isn't helpful. And these are the reasons why Labor's been really clear that we're not interested in a formal working relationship with the Greens. They're another political party. We're a completely separate political party with a completely separate set of policies and plans.
Well, you should just tell the bosses to make sure that the preferences don't come from them or that you preference them lower than the other parties of government. But I understand that other decisions need to be made. But Michael, again, how do you feel about this idea that either Adam Bander's seeing a whole bunch of numbers that nobody else is, or his gut is trying to say we can win a bit in Queensland? Now, 2019 would suggest no chance whatsoever. But of course, we know that the richer people are, closer they are to the inner city, they start fiddling around with things like this.
Well, Adam Bandt should get that caravan, that convoy thing that Bob Brown had, and start driving up there, and he can get a reaction himself directly from the Queenslanders to that proposal. But mate, this is the problem with people that have never run a business, that have never paid tax, that have never had a fight with the tax office or work cover or unfair dismissal, etc., payroll tax, etc. They can just pluck 30 billion from nowhere. So we'll tax the rich a bit and we'll get to 30 billion. They've got no understanding that capital is mobile, that if taxes are too high, people will invest in something else. They have no basic understanding of how the business sector thinks and invests. And this is why they can sort of have this sort of ridiculous policies of plucking huge amounts of money to throw at problems that don't actually exist. And it's why, they have only one seat in the parliament, why their vote is usually stuck on around 10%. But to take your point, Paul, Rose, your party preferences these fruitcakes in ahead of the Liberal Party. Now, it's about time that Mr Albanese and you're a senior member of the Labor Party, and other people in the Labor Party make a decision to preference these nutters last or after the Liberal Party. But you prefer their policies to the Liberal policies. Don't say, oh, we're not going to have a coalition with them. No. You prefer them to have people in Parliament than the coalition because you preference them ahead of us. So there's the answer to any suggestion of Albanese that, oh, no, mate, I'd never have anything to do with these people. Of course he's going to get into bed with them. He gives them his preferences, so why wouldn't he go the whole hog? And everyone knows
our preferences, are almost never, in fact, never really distributed to the Greens. So in a way, it's a moot point. Like you're trying to make a sort of incredibly narrow kind of technical argument about preferences, which for most people, I mean, this is like a Twitter argument. We're onto a preferences argument. You want to talk about what people are talking about on their dining room table. It ain't preferences. It ain't what's on the how to vote card. Most people chuck that in the bin as soon as you hand it to them. I've seen them. I give it to them. It goes straight in the bin. That's not a real political point.
Paul, help me out here. Rose, you've got a fellow panellist this evening who lost because of Greens' preferences. I was the member of Ashgrove up until 2015, and I still would be now if the Labor Party hadn't done a deal with the Greens. There you go. It's as simple as that.
All right, now
actually got quite a high primary vote, around 40% or something.